Welcome to Swedish House Money. We are going to talk about sports gambling, sports, teams, and sports. I am not a professional gambler. I'm only a professional sports fan. These are my takes. I do not expect anyone to take these as truth or a guarantee to win any money. This week's budget is $2,400. Last week, I was 50-50 on my bets. I placed 2 for each game, and I went 1 for 1 on each bet. Also, called it. Told you the Ravens would go into San Francisco and win. I said earlier, good luck going into San Francisco and winning. I think the Ravens can do it. I'm calling the upset on this one. I think the Ravens win this game. Ravens defense was on fire. I predicted that they would be able to just slow down that 49ers offense, and they did more than that. Just shut them down in several ways. So many picks. Purdy did not look comfortable at all. They put a lot of pressure on him, and the 49ers defense did not put as much pressure on Lamar as I thought they would. But like I said, if he gets out of the pocket and he starts running, you better stop him. That was a great game, though. I still think those two teams are going to the Super Bowl this year. They will face off again, but this time it will be in Las Vegas. This week, I have 6 games I'm placing bets on. One of them is just a straight parlay bet, but I have another one as well, so I've got 2 parlay bets I'm putting money on this week. Also, really excited for Monday coming up. Texas and Washington, baby. Yeah, almost there. This whole week has been filled with college football bowl games. It's been great. You might have looked at those games and been like, man, I don't give a fuck about that team. Or why are they even in some bowl game? They have barely a winning record. What is this shit? Yo, there has been some good games this week. I hope you've been watching. All right, let's take a look at some of the bets we placed last week. It is week 17 of the NFL season. 2 more weeks, and that's it. The first bet we're putting money on will be the Lions at the Cowboys. All right, so it's a little obvious. I'm a tiny bit of a Cowboys hater. It's mainly that they are just super duper popular. I live in a place where I'm surrounded by a lot of Cowboys fans, and I'm just like, man, I just don't give a shit. But, you know, to each their own. I'm not here to judge or hate on a person that likes the Cowboys. I just like to give the Cowboys shit. So looking at the lines on this one, I'm going to put $200 on the Lions money line. Straight up win that game. They might win by 2 points. They might show up and dominate by 14. But it's in Dallas. And I might be wrong on this, but I think Dallas is undefeated at home this season. That's not easy to do. Are the Lions good enough to go into Dallas and do it? Maybe. I do want that. I've heard quite a bit this season that Dak Prescott is the guaranteed easy MVP. Oh no, now he's not. I'm not a Dak hater. I actually really do like the guy. Off the field, he seems like a genuinely nice, good person. But you've got that star on the side of your helmet, dude. When you're on the field, no. I hope the Cowboys lose. Jared Goff, you got to play like an MVP, man, if you're going to go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. $200 on the money line. Lions win. Next up, Bengals at Chiefs. Man, Chiefs. What the fuck is going on? Several weeks now, we've just seen Well, this reason. The consistency, though, is that team just does not seem to have what they've had in the past. Okay, you might be saying, well, yeah, that's obvious, dude. We all know this. All right, that's fair. But I haven't seen them make any massive changes either, though. They keep trying to do the same thing and they're getting the same results. It could be the types of plays that they're calling. It could be the receivers themselves. I'm not here to talk about that. The Bengals, they're not the team I expected them to be this season. I thought about halfway through with Joe Burrow playing, I was like, yo, look out, Bengals. Here we go. They got a chance. Best helmet in the league. But they don't have him again this year for the rest of the season. So I think the Bengals are pretty much fucked for the rest of the year. But I am going to choose them to go into Arrowhead and win. I'm putting $200 on the money line that the Bengals go into Arrowhead and win. Do it. Next up is the Steelers at the Seahawks. All right. Seahawks, Steelers. Again, just what I talked about with other teams this year. They are not who I expected them to be this season. I thought the Seahawks would be a little bit better this year based off of how they were last year. I thought the Steelers would be a better team as well. They've had the offseason, figure shit out, whatever that is. Historically, I really can't bet against the Steelers. But this season has been a shit show. Both sides of the ball for the Steelers. Their defense shows up sometimes, and then other times it's where did you go? Seahawks, I'm not going to say the same thing, but they're just not as good as I thought they would be. So for this game, looking at the lines, I'm choosing the Steelers. I got money on the money line that the Steelers win in Seattle. $200 that they do it. Next game we are putting money on is the Panthers at the Jaguars. Jaguars, what the hell? Who are you? Are you going to win your next two games and get into the playoffs and be that team we saw the first, halfway through the season or so? They were on fire. Or is it the same old Jaguars that look good for a little while and then they just suck? Don't know. You can look at their roster. You can look back at the season and see, well, maybe this injury or that. I don't know. The Panthers, we all know they suck. They're just not good. They fired their coach. Bryce Young, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying that was a wasted pick. But dude does not have the same offensive line he had at Alabama. He does not have those 5-star recruits on his team on the Panthers. He is still learning and struggling. Personally, I'm fine with it. I don't think there's any type of college player that can just show up on a team like that and just have instant success and be the best player. It's a team sport, man. So I got nothing against Bryce Young. Team just sucks. Having said all that, though, I'm putting my money on the Panthers. Yeah. Looking at the lines on this one, why not? I could argue in my head to myself that both of these teams are just a dumpster fire right now. So it's a toss of a coin. Who's going to win? I'll put my money on the Panthers. $200 on the money line. Panthers win. Next up, Packers and the Vikings in Minnesota. I fucking hate the Vikings. Hate them. And that's it. I'll leave it at that. I have voiced my opinions previously. I'm not here to repeat myself. I'm going to put my money on the Packers, of course, because it's my team. I love them. We are bad. I have nothing to say about the Packers that's like, oh man, we're really good with this and we could do this and that. Like, I've said it before. So many mistakes and reasons why we suck. If you want to look that up and research it, go ahead. I'm not doing that. Not today. Not today. Looking at the lines for this game, though, I'm putting 2 bets on this because why not? I'm going to put $200 on the spread for the Packers. I'm also putting $200 on the money line. A total of $400. This could be a silly bet, but I'm doing it. I really just hope the Packers can go in to Minnesota and win this game and beat the Vikings at home. And maybe next year, the Packers will be a much better team with this young team that we have. Or maybe it will be more of, man, we fucking suck. Next up, one of the parlay bets I have is for the Dolphins and the Ravens game. We'll put that up there for you to see. It's in Baltimore. So if I were to pick an outright winner, I think it's the Ravens. I don't think the Dolphins are good enough to go in there and beat the Ravens. Ravens, don't get too cocky on yourselves. Don't do that because you beat the 49ers. I don't think they're like that as a team, but I just want to throw that out there. Like, man, don't be just like, oh, well, yeah, it's the Dolphins, we got this, whatever. Play hard, play how you do, and you will win. Dolphins are great. I love Mike McDaniels. I like what they're doing. I still think Tyreek Hill is the MVP of the year. But I don't think you can beat the Ravens. Nah. So for this, I'm just taking this parlay. I saw it. I liked it. I'm putting money on it. I'm putting $200 on this parlay. The last bet for NFL this week is the Lions and the Cowboys game. I already have money on that, but I saw this parlay and I just, man, I'm going to take that. I'm going to throw a ridiculous amount of money on this because I think that will happen. I think all of that will happen. So, put my money where my mouth is, right? $200 on this parlay that it hits. All right. We are almost there. Almost to Monday. Usually, I don't look forward to Mondays that much. Some people do. For me, it's just, man, it's Monday and the week is restarting. I just had such a great weekend. I don't want to do this. But this Monday, different. I'm excited. We got 4 teams in the playoffs this year for the last time. Next year, it's 12 teams. I am really excited for that. It's because I'm just used to having more than just 4 teams in a playoff format like that. With how many college teams there are you jokes? Sure, I know the argument of, well, it's the best 4 teams and those will be the best games and whatever. Fine. But I want more. I'm used to seeing it in other sports, in particular with this one, the NFL. Do they have 4 teams that only show up to the playoffs every year? I'm happy for the format change, and I'm excited to see 12 next year. We are here, though. 4 teams. Alabama and Michigan, Texas and Washington. So let's talk about Alabama and Michigan first. I looked at the lines on this game, and I looked at some parlays, and I thought, I'm just going to bet on what I feel like will happen. I think Michigan will win. So I'm choosing the money line. I'm putting $200 on the money line that Michigan wins that game. Looking at the over-under on this one, I'm not choosing the under on that. I'm choosing the over. I think both these teams will put up quite a lot of points. I'm not expecting like a total tally of 63 or anything like that, but I mean, it would be pretty cool if Michigan could beat Alabama by like 50, 60 points. That's not going to happen, but one can dream. I do think Michigan's got this. I think they are the better team. Alabama kind of snuck their way in here to the playoffs because they beat Georgia, the number one team. Blah, blah, blah. That whole argument, cool. Come on, Michigan. Beat Alabama. Please beat Alabama. Next game we're putting money on, the obvious, Texas and Washington. I'm so excited. Honestly, I did not think Texas would sneak into the playoffs like this. Maybe sneak is the wrong word, but they were put in. All I wanted was if for whatever reason people would think Oregon would get in, then Texas should get in. But it doesn't matter now. Here we are. It is what it is. If you want to discuss it with me, leave a comment, whatever you want. Cool, go ahead. But Texas, Washington. Of course I'm putting my money on Texas. I don't really need to say anything more than that, even though I just said it. I am choosing the money line on this one. Texas wins the game. I'm putting $200 on that. I'm looking at the over-under, though. That's a number I don't trust. So I'm choosing the under. I don't think it will be that high scoring of a game. But hoping for an under when you put money on it can be the worst thing ever. It gets down to the last 5 minutes, and they're like 5 points away from hitting the under, and you just, please, nobody score anymore. I'm like, just please stop. It can be super stressful. I've done it a few times. I'm doing it again. Let's see what happens. A total of $400 on this game. Texas wins, beat Washington, and move on to the national championship game. That's it. That's all the bets that we have for this week. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and time with friends, loved ones, family, all of the above, whatever that is, whatever that may be for you. If you were alone and you enjoyed that, great. If you're alone and you don't like it, just try and reach out to anybody that you might know, even if it's only one person. Don't just be alone and miserable with New Year's coming up. Don't do that to yourself. It's just not worth it. You can always leave me comments, argue with me about whatever in my opinions. You can like and subscribe. You can put a thumbs down and tell me to fuck off. I hope you have a great New Year's. I hope it's awesome and you're safe out there and you're happy and healthy. And I will see you next time. Peace.